This terrifying story comes from the real experience of a small team of engineers and surveyors. Men who believed they were simply lost on a rural road, until they realized something else had found them first. This happened a little over 10 years ago, back in a time when GPS wasn't reliable, and phone signals disappeared the moment you drove too far from the city. The team had been assigned to prepare documents and survey land for a large construction project in Nakhon Ratchasima, known to most people as Korat. Before the main project could begin, a small advance team was sent ahead to coordinate with a local district office, an Orobor Tor, located deep in a rural area, far from any real development. There were 3 men in that truck. Champ, the team leader, calm and responsible, the one who made the final calls. Dang, an experienced surveyor, loud, friendly, and known for enjoying a drink whenever work allowed. And Choi, the driver, quiet and observant, a man who spoke very little but noticed everything. They left early following rough directions written down on paper and the occasional advice from locals. The journey felt normal enough, but as they passed the city limits and turned toward the countryside, the world around them slowly began to change. Buildings gave way to open fields. Fields turned into long rows of eucalyptus trees that stood unnaturally still. The paved road narrowed, then disappeared entirely, replaced by red dirt paths that sent dust into the air with every turn of the wheels. The farther they drove, the fewer houses they saw, until eventually there were none at all. Phone signals weakened, flickered, and vanished. By mid-afternoon, under the relentless heat of the sun, they realized they were lost. Growing uneasy, they stopped to ask a villager who was fishing quietly beside a canal. The man listened without expression, then pointed down a narrow path that cut between rice fields. Without explaining much, he climbed onto his motorcycle and gestured for them to follow. The path was barely wide enough for the truck. It twisted and bent through fields and trees, pulling them deeper into isolation. Just as the sky began to darken, they finally reached the district office. Their work there took longer than expected. By the time the paperwork was finished, night had fully settled in. Before they left, a local officer carefully explained the way back. He warned them to pay close attention to the signs. This area, he said, was easy to get lost in, especially after dark. They drove off into the night. At first, the road looked familiar, then it didn't. The same dirt paths appeared again and again. Trees loomed on both sides, their shapes stretching across the road like waiting figures. Fatigue crept in, so did hunger. Dang grew irritated. He complained about wanting food, about needing a drink, about wanting to relax. They had been driving for what felt like hours when something changed. Ahead of them, light appeared. Not a roadside lamp. It was bright, alive, filled with color and sound. Music floated through the darkness. Without thinking twice, they turned toward it. The truck rolled into a wide open space, and what they saw erased every doubt they had. A festival. A beautiful old-fashioned temple fair stood in the middle of the field. Colorful flags hung overhead. A large dance stage dominated the center. Music played loudly, cheerful and rhythmic. People filled the grounds, smiling and laughing. Men wore traditional shirts and loose trousers. Women moved gracefully in sarongs and bright sashes. It felt warm, welcoming, almost unreal. They stepped inside, and that was when something felt wrong. People passed by them, but no one truly looked at them. Eyes slid past, as if the 3 men were only shadows moving through the crowd. Still, hunger won. They sat at a food stall. Noodles, curries, sweets, everything smelled incredible. They ate without hesitation. When Dang went to buy liquor, the vendor handed him a bottle and asked for nothing in return. Just a calm smile, one that lingered a little too long. Then Dang saw her, a dancer on the stage. She was beautiful, fair skin, red lips, wrapped in a bright sash that caught the light as she moved. As she danced, She smiled directly at him, and that smile didn't let go. Fueled by alcohol and desire, Dang decided to dance. The ticket seller told him the price, 1 baht per round. Dang laughed. All he had was 1,000 baht bill. He handed it over and said he didn't need any change. He wanted to dance until he was satisfied. The seller accepted the money without a word. Dang stepped onto the stage. Round after round, he danced with her. The music never seemed to end. Choi returned to the truck to sleep. Champ stayed nearby, drinking quietly as he waited. Eventually, exhaustion took over. Champ's eyes closed. A rooster crowed. Morning light crept across his face. Champ woke, stretched, and froze. The festival was gone. No lights, no music, no people. He was sitting in the middle of an abandoned cemetery. Tall grass swallowed the ground. Broken gravestones leaned at odd angles. The table he slept on was nothing more than a rotting log. His heart pounded. Then he saw Dang, lying on a raised concrete platform, a cremation site, covered in ash and soot. Dang was clutching an urn. When he woke and understood where he was, he screamed. They ran. At the truck, Dang suddenly vomited. What came out wasn't food. It was dirt, dry leaves, rotting offerings. Nearby, Champ spotted the 1,000 baht bill, placed neatly in front of an urn beneath a large tree. The faded photograph on it showed a young woman, the dancer. They fled the area immediately. But Dang was never the same. He became withdrawn, obsessed. Every night he dreamed of her, standing at the foot of his bed, smiling, calling him to come with her. 1 week later, against everyone's warnings, Dang returned to that place alone. He was found hanging from a tamarind tree, beside the same urn. In his pocket was a note. It said he was sorry, that he had made a promise in another life, and that he had to keep it. No one knows if that promise was real, but everyone who hears this story agrees on one thing. That festival was never meant for the living, and the price Dang paid that night was far more than 1,000 baht. If you enjoy real Thai horror stories like this, told quietly the way they're meant to be heard late at night, subscribe to Tale After Dark and continue listening through the playlist. Some invitations should never be accepted.